Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's market wrap-up. And, if you listen to people that only look at short-term charts or draw horizontal lines or whatever they want to believe works, for this week, once you come into a Wednesday and something's still inside on the week, there's no, I think if the SPY holds this, no. It's going inside week, okay? And so, inside week. We got an outside week, inside week, outside, inside. Why is that important? I'll show you. The hopes of this is that we have this consolidation, 2 inside weeks, then an outside week, now an inside week. So the hopes is the inside week equilibrium is going to be strong enough to break last week's outside week. That's what we need. We'd have a little more distance to go to the upside. So if we get the down sideways measured move to the downside, that would be preferable, most likely for the bigger move. But we'll have to see. But when you know something is still inside during the week, and this is one of the things, how do we quantify trending? Trending can be taking out a high or a low. And if you're not doing either of that, you have to be very aware of a new day, a new 60-minute, because it's just reversing back in because it's consolidating. The price is contracting. So instead of going, I think if we break this level or whatever you want to believe, once you come into a Wednesday and you see something that's still inside on the week, or if you're day trading something that's still inside on the day by noon, you're probably going to get chopped up in there because it's consolidating, is not trending. So if we go to the QQQ, same deal. You go to the small cappers. Here's a little weaker. You can see it's closer to taking all that stuff out. It took all these things out. So better candidate for the down sideways measured move would be the small cappers. Or, just pull them back in and go right back up into the range. We'll have to see. Diamond's doing the same thing. You got TLT here, inside week. So all that stuff for inside week. So we actually had a great week trading, and so one of the things I do in the morning, and over the weekend, I do this briefly on Friday afternoon. Over the weekend, I make a much more intense video about all the sectors and stuff like that. You can find that on my YouTube, Smiths in the Black, all one word. I also tweet it out on my Twitter, @RobinTheBlack, and I tweet a lot of things out during the day to show you, once you understand these concepts that I teach and show you, there's things to do all day long. And so first things that we're going to do is I tweet out mind the gap, hashtag mind the gap. And so these are the first things we want to be going after because they're moving, right? And so if you just follow my feed, I mean, there's so much that we do, but I'm trying to get this so people can see these examples and know what to look for. And so one of the first things we saw was Facebook, not on the gapper list, but you can see this inside 5 here. Inside 5 breaks to the upside, completely takes out the whole range. And then if we go back to that Facebook keeps going all day long. We get the opening 5-minute, and it's gone, never comes back. Here, and there was a whole bunch of opportunity to add as that thing went on during the day. So down in here, let's get that inside 5er, and then here, you can see here all day long. So let's go to the 15s, 30s, because I want you to see some of this stuff that we're looking at and how to identify these patterns. And so you can see this here. Right, on the dip down in here, it went inside 5, and that's where it came back up, inside 15. Here's an inside 15 countered with a hammer. That's a reversal strategy play, Rev Strat 15. And the reason that's going to work, and I'll show you why we look for these with full time frame continuity in one direction, which means it's up on all time frames at that time when that kicks in. A little bit further back. Here. So they got the pullback, stops these guys out, too strong to take them out. Now, when it comes back up and hammers, guess where the stops go? Here, here, here. Boom, 1, 2, 3, gone. At that point, it also triggered the equilibrium inside 30 to the upside. So it formed an inside 30 with a Rev Strat 15er in there. So the Rev Strat 15er triggers the 30 off to the races, never comes back. If you go back to the 5er, even once this thing starts moving, that's how you can find your way in. Inside 5-minute bar, see ya. Inside 5-minute bar, see ya. And so there's a lot of opportunity there as well. If I go back to the Twitter feed and we look at that gapper list, some of the stuff that we did today, and you'll see, right out the chute, Athena Health. Now something gaps down like this, right? Gaps down, goes inside on the 15. Inside 15 break, boom, 15 minutes, $2, we'll take that. If we go down to, keep getting the Twitter wrong. Had to have my follow Fridays for my buddies. KLAC on the gap list. And you can see this goes opening completely in the 15-minute range, which makes it tough. So when it takes this 15 back to the upside, if it's not strong enough to take that, that's a problem. It comes back, opens and closes back in the inside bar. That's a rev strat to the downside. Stops go here, and if you're lucky, they took that up, and they did later on that fifth tenner. If we go to Cyber, talked about Cyber because Cyber's in the video that I make for the subscribers in the night and talking about the inside days. So Cyber here, you're going to see this combination. Oops. You'll see this combination. Inside day break to the upside. All right, so they tried to stop him out down in here, goes inside and comes back up. And so when it goes inside 30, it's a combination. It reconfirms that break. It's also called a momentum hammer. Anybody who shorted in here or in here got their chance to cover. They didn't do it. Guess where the stops go? Here and here. And you got an inside day and natural buyers that take it right back up. If we go back to the Twitch stream, CCI. And CCI did this. Goes up, goes inside on the 30. Boom, gone, never comes back. And then goes rev strat 30 here. Inside countered with hammer. Well, guess where the stops go? Here, 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 and here. Gone. It was also a combination because it was an inside day. Gap down, goes bullish engulfing. That's a 1-bar rev strat, and I'll get to that in a second. But that's bullish engulfing. So above that, we know we want to be involved. And those 30s gave us a couple real nice entries in that. If you go to Rock, that was a little choppy. That was here. We'll go to Netflix. Netflix, you can see this 15. Here you can see how the broadening formation, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, brings them in a little bit in here, right? Then goes inside on the 15. That's what we want. The inside 15 that's going to take all these guys out and take a shot at the highs. If you continued on with Netflix, I mean, there was a million entries in this. It was great all day. But just simply, I know not everybody's going to trade 1 and 5 minute charts. And if you just go back to the 30-minute chart, you see the stuff that I talk about here. Inside bar goes down, comes back up, rev strat, 30. Inside 30 momentum hammer into the highs. So a lot of good stuff in Netflix as well. Telephone, AT&T, when all the shenanigans hit this afternoon. On the 30, you can see that was a nice little 30 break here. Nothing to write home about, but certainly we'll take that one as that 30 exhaust, and then you cover in here as that starts moving back higher. If we go back to the Twitter stream, what else did we look at today? Once again, this is just a handful of the stuff that we do during the day, but I'm trying to help everybody see these things because it can certainly help your trading. All right, so here you can see the SPY goes inside 30 and up. That we want to know about. That equilibrium gets a lot of things going because the futures start to move higher. All right. There's Amazon, rev strat 15. Inside bar, comes down, hammers back in. 1, 2, 3, poom, poom, poom. Quick work of that. Viacom and Time Warner, a little tough to see, but you can see it goes up. Then it came in, pulls back on the 5, and that's how we could enter on those. Then on the gapper list, SGY. Just waiting for that thing to gap down, goes inside 60. Nice move. $6 comes $7.50 in an hour. ACAD was a combination here. Went inside 3. That triggered the inside 15 are here. So when something's on the move, that's what we look for. Combinations of these shorter term setups. And off she went. SYNT, look at this weekly, down, sideways. So we look for entries on that short side. Gap list, EEFT, inside 60 here, 79. Take a buck out of that. And, okay, so I guess you get the point of that. So then other things I'll do is I'll pick up things during the day. CLW, this thing's getting demolished. And so when we look at it first, the big move down, the inside 60 down. The inside 60 momentum shooter, the counter, the hammer down. You can get into the 30. Inside 30 down right here. All right, so there's a lot of good entries and trying to find stuff up like that. If we go to DVA, often people say, well, Rob, I like to pick the bottom. I'm like, I'm not saying you can't do that. You just want to do it properly. So here, and this is what you want to look for these equilibriums. So here's what we got. We got the inside 30 off the lows, but on the 60, you're going to see this. It goes down, it goes inside 60, hammers back, goes rev strat 60 back up, then goes inside 60 momentum hammer to fill the gap and take out this bar here. So when you can see things like this, things work really well. So once again, Twitter gets a nice run at the end of the day. And Twitter, once again, just watching the inside 5 right here. Boom. Explodes off the inside 5-minute bar. Real nice. There's another 5-minute entry there. And then even when it was really moving up in there, there's a few 1-minute entries just for some quick stuff like that. Inside 1, boom, 8:15, come 35er. Inside 1er, boom, back up. Inside 1 here. And so here's a rev strat 1er down in here. So a lot of just ways to enter on things that are really moving. You can break those things down. But other than that, when I said the SPY's inside weak, I mean, just doing nothing, all right? And you need to know about that, right? So when anybody's trying to figure out what the SPY was doing, all you had to do was go, psst, inside weak. So there are some ways to trade around it. Like I showed you that 30 before. And if you go to the 30, today, that 30 here got up somewhat of a move, right? And the 30 called the lows here. It also did it with the 15, inside 15. Here, inside 15 continuation, right? And so we can watch stuff like that. And then the 1-bar reversal strat it did here on the 60 today. And what that means is an inside bar countered in one straight bar here. So it goes inside on the 60, drops down, but nowhere near taking out the daily opening. So it's a counter move. So ideally, we want that thing to spring back up. Now, if it does 2 bars like I've shown you, but anytime you counter an inside bar, boom, that's a rev strat right there above 213.65. And granted, we're going to look for muted moves, but now we have options expiring Wednesday and Friday to trade the options in those things, and that is good. So, inside weeks across the board, and, stupid. So, when we go to the weeklies, it's everybody in the broader averages, and you got your Wells Fargo and your Citicorp inside for the banks. You've got Exxon and Chevron doing nothing. You can see this. And when you see these divergences in the sectors, I'll get to that in a second, but here, GILD inside week, is it finally time for this thing? Or BIIB, momentum shooter inside, trying to fall apart. I mean, it might not be inside, but with the IBB, you can see how troubled this thing has been. Now it's just a week in the middle of this range, and you'll see the broadening formation on the weekly here, like so. How are you going to get out of that? And you've got the home builders still going toward the recent lows. You've also got the retail hanging near the recent lows, and so we're watching to see if any of these guys can pick up any steam. And even the SMH, with all the shenanigans of buyout, still goes inside weak. All right, and so that still hasn't really made the move that you would want. And so you're going to see stuff like SWKS is inside week, AVGO inside week. And so I'll get into a lot more of that in the weekend video. If you go to gold, here's another thing that's interesting when I talk about breaking the inside bar, needing to break the mother bar, because it did not. Now, gold went inside week and up, but nowhere near taking that out. Right, and so what that is a multi-bar inside pattern. That's 2 weeks inside this thing. You need to get out of that, otherwise you've got to be real careful. Anytime you get a new day, new 60, things can change on a dime, like you've seen in the SPY, when things are inside. And so being able to identify things that are still inside are going to help you not get a chopped up. So that's going to do it for this week. I hope everybody had a great week. I know we did, and hope it has an even better weekend. All right, everybody, I'm Rob Smith, and the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's market wrap-up.